And hello and good morning. It is 9 a.m. on the East Coast. I'm David Boles. Hello. This is Boles TV. Oh, somebody forgot to turn on the television. I think it's the television. Oh, it is the television. Now it's off. Nothing like 15 minutes of prep where everything just explodes in front of your face. We are experiencing the beginnings of a bomb cyclone in the New York City area. At least I think that's what the weathermen are calling it. Great big snowstorm coming that's going to explode within the next day. It started now, very lightly snowing. For Boston, they're saying it's going to be drifts of snow as high as a house. And where we are in the New York City area, they say 6 to 10 inches, which is going to cause a lot of trouble, but it'll be okay. This is our first major possible snowstorm of the year, of the season actually, and it's almost February. Now, when I grew up, we got snowstorms, big snowstorms in Nebraska. October, November, December, January, it was all the time, constant. Well, yesterday we had a lovely birthday show, and after the show, there were more gifts from the beautiful Jana Marie. And I'll share them with you now. One of them I'm wearing, as you can see. This is my teal green, and actually, for the first time, the color from the camera matches the color of my shirt. Like these lights here, right here, these are purple. But to my eye, they look like they're blue. I don't know why. So this is called, the brand is Brain Dead. There's our friend Dino. Hi, Dino. Nice to see you, buddy. Brain Dead. And the reason she got me a Brain Dead shirt is she said because it's the opposite. You're not brain dead. And it's fuzzy. So it's like, it's not sewn in. The underside is completely blank. But it's like it's textual. You can feel it. How am I? So far, so good. Feeling very powerful. We have a lot of food in the house. We don't really have to go anywhere today. We are safe inside, so we're not going to be stranded anywhere. That's the big concern you have when these snow cycles come, is that you're going to be in a place where you can only get home via car or a train. And there are very tight circles of people all around you. And the question is, can you get back home if you go out? And it's not always a guarantee. So sometimes you're stuck, you're stranded, you stay with friends, you find a hotel. But it's good that we know. Here we are. You just drank some chocolate milk. Well, that sounds very good, and I hope it's healthy for you. And you're feeling good about it. Is it the afternoon where you are, or is it morning? Do you drink chocolate milk at all times of the day, or just at certain times? That's the question. And I'm surprised that this green looks good on me. Usually a regular green kind of washes me out, but the teal green with a little bit of taste of blue seems to work. It tasted like water. Well, that doesn't sound good. Maybe more chocolate. Do you make it yourself, or do you buy it pre-made? Another gift from the lovely Jana Marie on the birthday is this. It's almost 11 a.m. Cool. Well, that's a good price. I mean, that's a good time to have chocolate milk. And you made it. Well, there you go. Try some malted milk next time. That might make it even better. That'd be like a shake. Gummy XOs. Trader Joe's. We go to Trader Joe's a lot. They have a new store in Long Island City, so it's hard to resist because it's right there. And you can see it's half eaten. I did not eat the whole thing, half of myself. But this is what they look like up close. Oh, I just dropped one on the floor. There, and these are the good kind of gummies where they don't stick to your teeth. Yeah, they are good. And I do realize that I'm promoting bad things here, like orange chocolate things and strawberry Twizzlers. Could be dangerous, but they're very delicious. Another little gift I was given is this. Nobody knows what it is or what it does, but it looks highly functional. From Jana Marie. She said you could use it for paper clips, you could put love X's and O's on it. I would like that. To me, it looks like a place where you, when you're working at your desk, where you would put your tea bags when they're spent. It's a mini plate. A mini plate with curved edges, which is very interesting. Which would keep the seeping from the tea bag from touching you. That's what you think it is. Okay, good. We've decided then. And as you remember, we got some beautiful flowers yesterday. Here they are. I put them in the Jana Marie cup to keep them safe, which was my drinking cup. You think it's Chinese. It does have a look of Chinese. And then I was presented with this. A vase on your birthday? What's wrong with you? Who gives a vase on a birthday? Well, Jana Marie does, and I accept it very lovingly and willfully. Because I've never had a vase before. I've never received flowers on my birthday before. Thank you so much. It is pretty. And more expensive than you'd think. New York City prices. And I guess there were 4 of these. They were being sold as a set. And the saleswoman said, oh, you don't want one of them. You have to buy all 4 because they go together. Jen said, thank you. I'll take one, please. And she got the one that was the darkest blue because she said blue is your color. And I accept that. So there you go. Happy birthday. So much fun. And we've had a lot of fun. And now we talk about some other interesting things. And yesterday we had at Abe's Cake, and we talked about that. We had a little taste. You like purple. I like purple too. It's a very beautiful color. We have a lot of purple around here. And we ate an Abe's Cake yesterday, and we went to the Abe's website, and we played their jingle. And I went to the Abe website yesterday and said, hey, I had a birthday party, and I enjoyed it so much, and we had your cake, and we played your jingle on my live stream, just to make sure that they were going to be okay with that. Now, why would they care if I played their jingle on my live stream? It's free advertising for them. And they wrote me back a nice little note that I'll share with you right now. And this is how you handle yourself when you're a online community. Hi, David. Thanks so much for reaching out. We love the photo. Happy birthday from all of us. And this was the photo that I sent them. This is the default image for the live stream yesterday. And just because we can't resist, one more time. Now I have to stop it because if I keep going, I'll never stop playing it. You can't hear it. Oh, that's interesting. Oh my goodness, I'm so glad you said something because you haven't heard any of the music that I played at all. Because my music is off. I can hear the music, but the music is not playing for you. Now that is not a good thing. So, I'm so glad you told me that. That's why you're a VIP. Very important person. Now you can hear the background music, which has been playing for half an hour. Here's the jingle one more time.
They got the world's best muffins. They're not just any kind of muffins. No milk, no nuts, no soy, no eggs. They got the world's best muffins. muffins. The very best vegan muffins are A's.
One more time to make up
They
for
got the world's best muffins. They're not just any kind of muffins. No milk, no nuts, no soy, no eggs. They got the world's best muffins. They're not just any kind of muffins. The very best vegan muffins are A's.
I love this jingle too. I should learn the lyrics. I sort of know the lyric and then I could sing along with it. Now wouldn't that be fun? That would be legal too. I wouldn't be, I don't think, DMCA'd by YouTube because we weren't yesterday, or by Twitch. Which makes me think everything's good singing the Abe's jingle. So another thing that happened yesterday, which is actually wonderful news, is this. This is our YouTube channel that you can get to by going to youtube.com/Boles Blues, Boles Blues, okay? And we have now made public all of our live streams that you can access without having to subscribe or pay money to watch. Now, I think they put ads on them, but everything's now there on YouTube. So if you're on Twitch, you can watch video on demand. And if you subscribe, I think you have to be a subscriber to watch video on demand. But video on demand has advertising, I believe. But the great thing about having your stuff on YouTube is that once it's up there, they caption it. So we have a live stream that has live captions. And then we upload the video on demand the next day. They make you wait 24 hours. Twitch does. To YouTube. And then YouTube translates the captions for you. And you win. So here's yesterday's show that's now up because it's been 24 hours. Oh, you have a channel. That's wonderful. Is it dedicated to something special? So here's the live stream. Forward in a little bit. Seated. And there it is. Captions.
Blood result lab reports.
No one knows it.
From some person not named
When you're
me,
ready to
but
let
who
us
has
know,
my
let us
last
know
name.
what it is.
And who is
So
using my email.
that
address.
is our YouTube
all
channel.
by name.
And now I'll show you something else that's just really helpful because we have a lot of videos online. And sometimes it's hard to find stuff. So you go all the way over to the end. You click on search. And let's say you want to find on this channel what we've talked about eugenics. And here are all the podcasts that we've done on eugenics, anti-abortion, anti-people, disability, and indifference. Here's the live stream, Boles TV on this day. Here's the live stream, Boles TV on this day. So it allows you to really crunch it down in a way that I don't think you can do very easily on Twitch, which is search for a topic that we've talked about. You love the channel promo. Thank you very much. We work very hard on those promos. And sometimes they work and sometimes they don't work. And we have to do one soon with the Jan Marie. She's very busy, but that's okay. And let's look at American Sign Language. Jana Marie is coming up today in about an hour. Going to have a wonderful, wonderful lesson in emotions. So here are all of our videos over time that have to do with American Sign Language. Janet teaches American language alphabet. American Gargoyle, the ASL edition, which is very wonderful. Story about Donald Trump. A fairy tale that I told. This is going to be very big. Janice Sweeney teaches local New York signs in ASL. Now that's big because people do a lot of wrong things with that. Janet Marie could make a channel just for sign language. She could. She's very busy. If you go to hardcoreasl.com, that's basically her channel. It's our website where she teaches. But I like having a blend. That Boles TV is this and that and also ASL. If we're a channel, we could have all kinds of different topics about different kinds of things. Janet teaches ASL Christmas signs, legally deaf, ASL sports signs. As you can see, this goes on and on and on and on forever. Now let's see if there's anything on Nebraska on our channel. Nebraska for everyone. Now these, with that face of mine, those are podcasts. So they're just audio only, but they're there. There's one thing on the live stream from January 17. Well, I'm glad you would subscribe, Dino. That's good. Subscribe to everything. That's my philosophy. So that's our YouTube channel. And it's, you can subscribe, and when we upload the new videos, you'll get notified. It's all closed captioned. It becomes sort of a free access video on demand, which is very helpful. Also in the news today, this is Willow. You're already subscribed. Thank you so much. Willow is the new White House cat. They've had dogs in the White House. I don't think we've had a cat in the White House since Bill Clinton. And Socks. Socks was a black and white cat. A tuxedo cat, as they call them. So this is Willow, now having the run of the place. Oh, I'm sorry you're allergic to cats. It can be a problem, but you could get a hairless cat, and those cats are non-allergenic. The cat dander can be a problem. And these are photographs from inside the White House. Already taking over. Now I want to know who's responsible for keeping an eye on the cat. Because if there's an open door, a cat's going to go outside. So that's Willow. Yeah, it's a good idea. If you're a cat person. I understand these cats that have no hair feel like a hot water bottle. Which I find slightly alarming. That you would hold something that is that hot. But you have a dog. That's good. What kind of dog do you have? Is it a big dog or a little dog? Big dog. That's fun. That's what I would do. I would get a Great Dane if I had a dog. Big, big, big dog. Bigger the better. Oh, her name is Honey. That's a cute name. Very sweet. And the reason I would get a Great Dane is not because they're 200 pounds or whatever. It's because they were bred to be royal dogs and to protect. So they had to be very calm. They needed to sleep a lot unless they were working. So if you live in an apartment and you don't have a lot of places for a dog to run, you need to get a dog that doesn't like to run. A dog that likes to just loaf around and take naps all day. And I understand those are Great Danes. So Great Danes are actually, believe it or not, great apartment dogs. They're huge, but they're quiet and they're very calm. A big dog that's scared of everything. Now that's very cute. We had a cat named Jack, and he is no longer with us because he had some health problems. But he was the most amazing cat. He was never scared of anything. You could take the vacuum cleaner, which all cats are scared of, and go right up to his paws with the vacuum like this, and he would just look at you like, okay, what are you trying to do? Why are you bothering me with the vacuum cleaner? So that was a great cat to have in a small apartment in a very busy city with lots of noise, things clanking and clunking, and he was never scared. Now that's bad because if he gets out in the real world, he doesn't really recognize danger. He's not a scaredy cat. He doesn't run. He just sits there and looks at you. And I don't think he really ever hissed at anybody either. He never ever really got upset. He was just so calm. It's amazing. Now this is going to be fun to share with you. This is the German health minister. When he became legendary on philosophy on Twitter. Your dog is scared of doors. That's interesting. Is it when they open or they close? Is it the sound that scares your dog? So the other day, the German health minister said this in a public speech about COVID-19. You don't know? Okay. We regain freedom through vaccination. It is the virus that confines us. Hegel, who is a very famous German philosopher, once said, and in this respect he is right, freedom is the recognition of necessity. Now that's very heavy. It's very beautiful. Freedom is the recognition of necessity. Got to save that one for later. And yesterday, this popped up in my email. It's a very passionate speech. It is. It was a beautiful speech. This is about the metaverse. And there's this company now out there called Verse Estate. Not Metaverse Estate, just Verse Estate. And this person said, hey, we're launching in collaboration with the biggest French artist, Vincent Frodmer, the first ultra-realistic villas and apartments that you can officially own in the metaverse. You want to see this? Okay. To invite your friends all around the world. Our project is amazing and one of a kind. That's why you understand everything better with visuals and you don't want to miss out on it. Head on over to Instagram and see what we're working on. So this is the new, I want to say scam, but I guess it's idea. This is the new idea. That you're going to go into the Facebook metaverse. Then you're going to have to find an apartment. All the hassles of the real world. And you're going to have to pay money for a slice of land. And all of it means nothing. It has no value. And then I read an interview today with Tim Cook saying that Apple's making big plans to join the metaverse. I'm thinking, Tim, what are you doing? It's a big scam. What are you going to do? How are you going to escape this? Watch your pockets. I'll put the link. The German health minister link in chat. So if you want to, you can go take a look at that later. And now, my friend, it's that time of day. A small blood pressure break. There's your bathroom break. We'll be back momentarily. And we are back from break. I'm David Boles. This is Boles.tv. Thank you so much for being here. We're here Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern, in the middle of a small bomb cyclone that is going on outside our window right now. But we are persevering. We're having a wonderful day. Lots of interesting things to discuss today. It's my new birthday shirt, Brain Dead for the Undead. Well, we're back from break. I say our new friend Dino wants to talk about dreams, and we can talk about that for a little bit if you'd like. But I'm going to talk about white power soon. Then Jana Marie's here with an ASL lesson, and then we got to talk about mouse. And we've talked about dreams here many times in the past. So you could go on to our video on demand page and do a search on dreams. But Dino, tell me, what do you want to talk about dreams? Let me know. You have something on your mind. Hi, I'm David Boles. Oh, that's me. I'm checking in the background. Surreptitiously, but not really because I just revealed myself. If we have any video on demand on dreams. Just checking. Oh boy, we have a lot. I'll show you the page. I don't know if it's any video on demand. It looks like it's all podcast. But that's okay. It's very interesting. Stuff I wrote. Oh! There's one live thing. I'm scrolling endlessly. That's why I'm not showing you the page. Okay. So searching on dreams on our YouTube channel, Have Gun will hire people with dreams. The Muslim American immigrant dream, how to read a dream. Deference to the winners, stop deconstructing your dreams. So you can go to youtube.com/Boles Blues. Now this is a good one, the Akarian Syndrome, heat rises, smoke falls. That's about Icarus and the fall from grace. Flying too close to the sun. And what most people don't realize about the Icarus story is there were two warnings given by the father. One is don't fly too close to the sun, because the sun will melt your wings and you will fall into the ocean. The other part of that story that nobody knows really is that the father also said, and go too high to the sun, don't do that. You can't go too low either, because the salt from the ocean will weigh down your feathers and you will plunge into the sea and die and drown. So the lesson of the Icarus story is moderation. Don't go too high, don't go too low, stay right in the middle where the sun is okay and the salt from the sea is okay and you're in the middle and you can fly. That's what that podcast is about. And we keep scrolling and scrolling and we're looking for a video on demand. If it's just my monster face, that means it's a podcast. So it's audio only, but they're only about 10 minutes long. Here we go. The Dino is speaking. I had a dream that I was on Mars, and we already colonized it, and they had this thing that they inject in your leg that makes you breathe there. Very interesting. But we still need to use a mask because of the dust, and maybe COVID-19. And in that dream, I could feel the adrenaline coursing through my veins. Well, that's just wonderful. I love that dream. I hope it ended well, or did you wake up in the middle of it? Oh, and here we go. Boles TV from January 14th of this year. We talk about AI doxing chess players, how to dream to remember. OSHA mandates and a powerless something. I think that is the only video on demand. Everything else is just audio only, but still very entertaining. You woke up, okay. Well, I'm glad you woke up and you were safe. So we can still talk about dreams. Just keep going if you have any other questions. I'm happy to discuss them. But this is a really, really interesting story. This is the story from the Flatwater Free Press. I'm putting the link in chat right now. Herbie Husker, White Power. Go ahead and share your dream. You can type it up while I'm typing this and getting into Herbie Husker. So Herbie Husker is one of the icons. Okay, we'll talk about your other dream later. There's Dora. Dora's here. How many inches of snow are they predicting? Yesterday we buried my friend. Oh no. She passed away this morning. Is that the friend that you visited? And they were all sick? Well, that's too bad. Now, artist Dora is our very good friend, lives in the New York City area. Dino is our new young friend who lives in South America. And that's all we know. Dino has not said age or gender, so that is up to Dino to reveal or not to reveal. It's completely up to Dino. But Dora is, I don't want to say old like me, but she is wise like me. And Dino was our young dreamer, became a VIP because of the wonderful conversation we had yesterday and today. Dora says yes. Oh, that's too bad. I know you were very worried about her, and she was in a lot of pain. Maybe 26. Maybe 26 what? I missed that. Now, artist Dora, in our area, we are getting, they are predicting in our bomb cyclone, maybe she's 26. I remember when I was young, I was in college, and a professor trapped me with a question and said, so what is old to you? And I think I was 18. And I said, oh, 50. And everybody laughed because everyone in the room was older than 50. So, Dora, you're 26 years old. Young. And Dora, we are supposed to get between 6 to 10 inches in our area, which is manageable, as you know. But it's going to be terrible for the trains and the buses. So we have enough food and water to shelter in place. But what I'm hearing is they're worried about the high winds, could get up to 60 miles per hour, and they're worried about losing electricity. And that's going to be a problem. Because if we don't have electricity, we can't stream, and we can't be on the internet, and we don't have a life. You've only seen 2 centimeters of snow. Now that's interesting. That's in New York, you have a lot of people who come from other places, usually to come and work or normally go to school. And there are kids, it's just amazing. When they first see a snowfall, they go outside and it's wondrous. You should see their faces. And they're older, 18, 19, 20 years old. They've never seen a snowflake before. And a snowflake lands on their hand, and they look at it, and every snowflake is different and unique. And it's a crystallized form of water. And they're very, very beautiful. Dora feels 26. Age is just a number. I told my friend who I used to teach at NJIT with, I said, I turned 57 yesterday, but I still feel 12. And she never replied. She's probably disgusted with me. Act your age, young man. She's a little older than I am. But she's had some health problems too, and her name is Linda, and she's getting better. Your gender is a boy. Okay, that helps to know. I mean, I kind of wondered that, Dino, but who knows? You never know online, and you should never assume. Some people don't want to be genderized. They want to be called they, them, which is absolutely fine. I've seen some university kids say, I want to be called he, him, they. Okay. Maybe they're kidding around. They're not buying into it. But that's okay. We'll call you whatever we want to call you. So Herbie Husker represents the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, which is my alma mater. That's where I graduated as an undergraduate. And as you can see in this image of Herbie, which is the ugliest mascot that I've ever seen, with the stupid big fat beer belly and the corn in his pocket and a football under one arm and his yellow hair and his hat. On the red t-shirt, he's holding up "We're number one" in his left hand. Oh, Dino has found our emotes. Talking about symbols. This is not a symbol of hate. This is the symbol of the screaming Jana Marie, which we have as an emote that you can use. And Dino has found it. And in the gray shirt, you can see that Herbie is making what we have come to know as the OK sign. Use some channel points to get this. Oh, that's so wonderful. I love it. We have a lot of emotes on there. It's fabulous. It's worthwhile. There's a lot of fun to be had here. And people are concerned about this change because the OK sign is very common. That people use sign language is a gesture. I think Jana's going to talk about this a little bit more tomorrow on her show. And her show is on at 11 a.m. Saturday and Sunday. And she takes questions. You can email her questions, jana@boles.tv. And she talks about disability and accessibility and lots of interesting things. So she's going to talk, because in the deaf community, this making the OK symbol, which I'm not going to show you with my hands because people can take screenshots of you and it looks like, you know, you're a white supremacist, because that's what the OK symbol has become. What are you talking about? Well, here we go. How white power changed Herbie Husker. It's going to probably be 1 p.m. here in South America. I think you're exactly right. I don't know if you're available on Saturdays or Sundays, but her show is about an hour. Lots of fun. So for 50 years, fans have loved the burly, fat Husker mascot who wears blue overalls, sports a big red cowboy hat, and keeps an ear of corn in his pocket. The depiction of the blonde-haired, blue-eyed farmer. Interesting, blonde-haired, blue-eyed. You're available on Saturdays. Well, that's wonderful. Jan will be very happy to meet you, and she's going to meet you very shortly. For nearly all of that time, Herbie Husker has held football in one hand and thrown up an A-OK sign with the other. But if you played close attention, you may have noticed a change. Now Herbie's left hand shows "We're number one." The reason for the switch: the switcheroo white supremacists. Internet trolls and white supremacy groups have tried to turn the OK sign into a symbol of white power, claiming the three fingers up form a W and the circle and wrist form a P, which I will show you a little bit later. So this is the woman who is in... yeah, I already put this in the link in chat. So this is the woman who's in charge of branding at the University of Nebraska, and she was made aware of this change, and this is the hard thing. People like saying, hey, A-OK, thumbs up, right? Those trolls, yeah. Started with 4chan, I guess. And she was made aware that this A-OK sign had changed its meaning, and things change over time. Linguistics are changing, even visual linguistics. And it had changed from meaning A-OK to meaning white power, WP. And she said we made the change as quick as we could in Herbie. And they did it in Photoshop. Two years ago, the Anti-Defamation League added the OK hand gesture to its hate symbol database, with the caveat, particular caution must be used when evaluating the symbol. They say the gesture has been used in many cultures with different meanings. In 17th century Great Britain, excuse me, it was a signal of approval. In Hinduism and Buddhism, it represents inner perfection. And that was the problem with the Nazi swastika. It was a Hindu sign of peace and love for 2,000 years before Hitler corrupted it. In American Sign Language, the A-OK sign forms the basis of many words. For high schoolers, it's part of the circle game, where they try to trick their friends into looking at the gesture. And I've seen them play this online. I've seen people on Facebook, they post images and they try to sneak the hand shape in. When Brett Kavanaugh was being vetted by the Senate to get on the Supreme Court, he had a woman sitting behind him with her arms crossed, and she was making the white power sign on her elbow. And she's sitting there grinning all throughout his testimony. Dino is in the 6th grade. You mean the 5th grade. Okay. So that's very young. Do not say how old you are, because if you type that, I have learned, that Twitch has an automatic bot that will ban you for life if you are under the age of 13. So don't say that. Don't type it. Don't say it anywhere. Keep it to yourself. Good. Because I know your parents know you're here. I know you have permission, but the Twitter doesn't care. There was a story on it in the internet. And there was this very famous Twitch person who said, be careful about age, because you have to be a certain age, and if you say that you are not, you'll be auto-banned. And one of her people, who, well, I think was older, said, oh, by the way, I am this age. I mean Twitch, yes. Sorry. And she said, don't do it. And the person did it as a joke, and 5 minutes later, this ultimate Twitch bot came down from the heavens with a thunderbolt and banned that person, even though that person was of the appropriate age. Woohoo! And she said, I told you so. And once you're banned, it's very hard to get back in, because they have IP checking, they find you delinquent, and they mark you, they suspicious activity. It's a very bad thing. So we know our friend Dino is very young and very smart and very actively involved. And we don't know how old, because we don't care. So the goal in changing this OK sign into meaning white power was to trigger liberals. And the hoax of all of this was so successful, the Anti-Defamation League. I think my IQ is average 100. I don't know about IQs. Is that a good number? I hope it's a good number. I've heard Magnus Carlsen's IQ is like 183, and Hikaru Nakamura's is 90. I didn't know they did IQ tests anymore. Maybe it's a thing. And the hoax was so successful that it became popular with white supremacists who adopted the symbol as their own. Hate groups used it at far-right rallies and during the January 6th insurrection, further pushing it into the public consciousness. I think it's a good number. Good, I do too. But you don't have to rely on an IQ test to be smart. I know a lot of very smart people who did not do well on an IQ test. So here is Herbie Husker from 1974, making the A-OK sign as he can with 4 fingers, I guess. 3 fingers and a thumb, I think. Maybe it is 4 fingers. I've always hated Herbie Husker, honestly. Ugh. Awful. And he replaced Harry Husker. Oh, these are... I clicked on the link. Yeah, Herbie. These are the mascots from the University of Nebraska. Over time, Corncob Man. That looks like something from a horror movie. 1953. 55 to 62. Corncob Man still okay. Husky, the Husker, 62 to 70. Was that big, tall, lanky thing with the straw hat. Mr. Big Red, a.k.a. Harry Husker, 70 to 74. Oh, they look creepy. Yes, they do. Now, this is the Husker mascot that I know. The tall man with the long face. And I actually thought he was kind of interesting. He was very erudite, which I preferred rather than having some kind of hokey Husker guy. This is the original Herbie Husker, seen here with Ronald Reagan. Terrifying. Furry. I don't believe he's furry anymore. They also have Lil Red, who is like a balloon person, who is younger and has his hat flipped around. That is even more scary. Yes, you're learning all about Nebraska. Here is her... I've not seen this. This is Herbie Husker from 74 to the present. Oh my gosh. Look at that. See, he does have 3 fingers. And that face and that hair and the hat and the overalls. It's not a stereotype that's good looking. Herbie Husker from 74 to present. Now, this is not terrible. I've seen this one at the sideline of football games. He at least looks a little more normal, and he has brown eyes and brown hair. It's a little confusing. Here he is at a basketball game. This is okay. This is like the slim man that I like, updated to have a furrier face. More Herbie. Herbie Husker. That one is pretty. Yes, we're getting better. Oh, here's Lil Red that I told you about. And they put like gymnasts in here. So he dances on his head and he dances in his arm. But it's still very juvenile. I guess they do this to appeal to children. I don't know. So that's Herbie Husker over the years, which I find very fascinating. Here's some other designs from Herbie Husker. And this is here's the full evolution of Herbie Husker. The one right there in the middle with the red jacket and red hat. That's the one that I know. I like that one. And then this big dumb guy with the big belly. So they've worked very hard to change their branding at the University of Nebraska. And just for fun, because we like to talk about interesting things here, the N brand. This is the official licensing thing for the University of Nebraska. I'll put this in chat too. UNL branding. So if you want to make t-shirts for the university, or if you're writing about it in the news, this is a brand guide for how the university wants to appear in print. And these are all pictures. Now, this is where it starts to get really interesting. It gets very technical. And I love looking at this kind of stuff because I'm a nerd. So this is the primary logo. And all universities have this. This is the chief visual component of Nebraska athletics. Overall brand identity. Our logo anchors our brand and has become one of the most single manifestations of the Nebraska athletic department. Oh, it's technical. Yes, with lots of interesting things. So, logo integrity. Was there such a thing? Do not alter the orientation of the Nebraska N. Use good judgment to ensure legibility. A mark that is too small to be legible does not serve any purpose. You're a nerd. Good. Join the club. Does not serve any purpose. Approximately ½ an inch is the smallest a Nebraska N should be. It is very important to designers or desktop publishers. Do not build the logo yourself. They want you to copy this and use it. Do not reproduce the logo by scanning or previously printed version or pulling one from the internet. Second-generation logos degrade, and the quality of the image will alter the scale of the elements. I like your join club command. I'll have to set that up somehow. Have it mean something. We do have a few commands. I'm trying to think what they are. Oh, if you type command, here, I'll type one for you. Exclamation point Jana, Janna. Boom, you get a whole history. Exclamation point Dave. You get my whole history. So I'm setting those up. I know commands are fun. Color variation. Now here's the size, the height, the width, the color variations that are allowed. Other registered trademarks. I like the thin N is my favorite of all these. They're fun. The power of color. Now, what's interesting about Nebraska is the official colors of the university are scarlet and cream. And there's a singing group called the Scarlet and Cream Singers. You should do an 8-ball command. I've wondered about the 8-ball command. I don't know if it's even active. I'll have to look and see what that does. 8-ball command. I'll make a note of that. I've heard of that. I don't even know if it's set up. 8-ball command. And these are all the various logos for Nebraska and logo use and all the legality of it. It makes it fun. And what typeface is available. And you can get this directly from the university because these are for people who are like making things for the university, but we can look at it too. It's not set up. Okay, I am pretty. I'll set it up. I had no idea what it would be used for, but now I see, with Dino here, what it could be used for. So these are the acceptable typefaces that you can use if you want to write about or publish Nebraska. Now, if you work at the university, this is the letterhead that you use. And thank you cards, and they'll print them for you, or you can download this and print it from your printer and make it part of your email. Affiliate logos. Nebraska's part of the Big Ten. So this makes it really super easy if you want to do something right and make it look good. There are the instructions. Difficult decisions or choices. Okay. I like setting up the 8-ball. I'll have that ready tomorrow. So continuing on with Herbie Husker and this sign, this is the hand OK gesture. And this is from the Anti-Defamation League. Racist hand sign. This is, you can no longer use this on the street to say, hey, A-OK. Because it's W and P. And it has not meant that except over the last few years. And they've changed it and they have ruined this sign. A W and a P. Yeah. I mean, is that a P? No. Is that a W? No. It's the beginning of the sign for a-hole in American Sign Language, if you want to know the truth. I don't know if Jan is going to talk about that, but you take your other hand in that circle and you make a little circle within the circle, and you understand what I'm saying. So it's a fun sign, but it's also a bad sign. You just noticed it. So I'm going to put this in this link because it's just fascinating. White power. Okay. So Nebraska did the right thing. They were told about this in, I believe, 2020, how their hand gesture for Herbie was being misinterpreted. And they didn't want Nebraska, which is pretty much fully white. There are, I think, 4 or 5 counties in Nebraska that do not have one black person living there. And it's mostly in the Sandhills. Okay, you tell about the second dream, and I'll finish this up about the sign language. I mean, the hand gestures. And this is how the OK symbol became a popular trolling gesture. And this is far back as 2018. Has the simple thumb and forefinger OK gesture become a common white supremacist hand sign? Not quite. in 2018, but it has become a popular gesture used by people across several segments of the right and the far right, including some actual white supremacists, who generally use it to trigger reactions or what they would describe as trolling the libs. There's that link. And here's a very interesting article that the Washington Post discussed about the identification of far-right symbols that appeared on January 6th. Wonderful, fascinating article. Proud Boys. I'll put this in chat too. We'll just look at a few of them. The Proud Boys. Okay. This is a Proud Boy insignia. I guess the goggles on an orange hat. There's another Proud Boys insignia. I guess it's the color orange is their color. Historical and far-right flags. The Betsy Ross flag, right? Not the American flag. The Betsy Ross flag. There we go. Okay. Symbol details. Hand symbols forming in the shape of OK. The OK hand signal. I had a dream there was a superhero and had been flying a vehicle and jumped off a building, and when I jumped off I could feel the adrenaline coursing through my veins. That's very interesting. You're having very interesting dreams about Mars and being a superhero. And did you wake up? I hope you didn't wake up falling, because that's a thing where people have falling dreams. The hand gesture is commonly used to connote okay. Yes, I did. Okay, that's good. I'm glad you were not injured, though, in your dream. Was co-opted in 2017 by members of the far-right supremacists who recast the symbol to mean WP, white power. The use of the hand gesture has since become a common occurrence at far-right rallies and among some Trump supporters who make it to taunt opponents. When you woke up, you weren't falling. Well, that's good, because falling dreams are very common, actually. The Three Percenters, a right-wing anti-government militia group, also utilizes a similar symbol, outstretched middle, ring, and pinky fingers to represent the Roman numeral for 3. That can, at a glance, be mistaken for the OK gesture, though Three Percenters is not explicitly white supremacist. 1776 memorabilia worn on January 6. The Three Percenters. This is their logo. This is what it looks like. These are the images, the semiotics that were in play on January 6. QAnon. The Oath Keepers. They have their own hat. They have a logo. They have patches. The Confederate flag, unfortunately, of course. A racist semiotic. America First. Pepe the Frog. Very popular in Twitch chat. I don't know if a lot of those people know what they're actually saying when they use Pepe the Frog. The Kekestein flag. Oof. The Noose. Had that there to hang Mike Pence. Norse imagery. The Shaman. V-Dare. Some of these, I don't even know what they are. So there you go. We have a terrible history in America of hatred and the confiscation of good for the bad. And now we're going to take a very brief break to get set up for Jana Marie Sweetheart, who's going to come in here and teach you a wonderful lesson in American Sign Language emotions. And maybe she'll have a pop quiz at the end and say, hey, here are the signs. What am I saying? And you can answer back. Interactive. Could be a lot of fun. So I'm going to put up her screen instead of the intermission screen, and she's going to be right here momentarily. And we are back. That was the Jana Marie with her lovely American Sign Language lesson in emotion. Oh, Dino is sticking around. Good. I think Ellie left. So, as Jana Marie was saying when she was saying goodbye, she's here tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern on Saturday and Sunday, and she'll talk about a variety of interesting things and have a conversation with you like she did today. And before we close the show, I just wanted to get to this one other topic because it's related to our Herbie Husker White Power story. Just because it's all over the news, at least in America. And I think some of this, honestly, is a little bit of trolling. Right, active dreaming. Okay, so let me see if I can find something on active dreaming. I'll put this back here before we do our mouse story. See if I can find the article. I've written about dreaming a lot. And it was specifically an article, if I'm remembering right, is where I would be able to tell myself what I was going to dream about. Oh, the love emote. I love that emote. I'm glad you have it. Okay, so here we go. So if you go to bolesblogs.com, I have 5,000 articles that I've written and published there. And if you go down to the search bar, which is like halfway down the side of the sidebar, and do a search for active dreaming, you get a bunch of returns. And here are some of them. Site assaults and medication-induced nightmares, the Asynchronous Lives in Parallel Project, Metaphoric Synesthesia and the Myoclonic Tick. Very popular article, that one. Lots of likes. The Secret to Subconscious Multitasking, Pretending You Have No Idea What You Are Thinking. Can the position of your head on a pillow determine your dreams? It may sound foolish, but not if you try it. It's basically where I would put my head in one specific position, right here, and put pressure on my head, and I could guarantee myself that I would have a nightmare as the first dream of the night. And here we go. Color dreaming and active lucidity. I think that's the most appropriate one. Written in 2008. You can also do a search for active imagination, where I did an interview with David Milch, who created and wrote most of the episodes of NYPD Blue. Do you dream in color? Are you lucid in your dreams? Are you able to actively dream while awake? And that's the article. Oh, that's good. Yes, we are on Discord. I'm glad you're on Discord. Streamlabs is our streaming software. And it's interesting because they also have a Reddit group, and they have online, and you ask for help and they tell you to go away and go to their Discord server, which I find sometimes very difficult to navigate. But that's the way of the future. You got to be willing to change and make changes. So Mouse is a graphic novel. I just ordered the deluxe hard book back version from Amazon because I want to support Art Spiegelman. It was very affordable. Delivering in a couple of weeks. I think they're sold out of all the Mouse, which I'm sure Art is upset about, but also very happy about because he's all over the news. And Mouse is a graphic novel. Now, what does graphic novel mean? People think it means pornographic or grotesque with blood and guts and killing. A graphic novel, unlike a comic book, is something that has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it's told in drawings or artwork. That's all graphic novel means. Graphic means as in being drawn. So it has nothing to do with violence or not being safe for work or sexuality or nudity or killing. A comic book is just a slice of life. That's the difference, really. So Mouse was first written, version 1, in 1988. And then in 1991, there was a part 2 that was finished. Well, it's not. A comic book is specifically about a slice of life. A graphic novel is a story that has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And I'll show you some shots of Mouse, and it looks like a comic book. But technically it's not. And it won the Pulitzer Prize. And I discovered it in 1991, right around the time I was finishing at Columbia University. And it came out, graphic book, right? And I read it, and it was just horrifying and wonderful. And a friend of mine who was supremely Jewish, he called himself a super Jew, which is not a bad thing. He was always striving for the right. We were walking in Times Square one time, and someone was handing out handbills to people. And this person, who obviously did not enjoy the job, just started throwing them on the ground instead of handing them to people, because you got paid if you handed out 1,000 of these flyers. So most people would just throw them in the garbage and then go in an hour and get paid. But this guy was throwing them on the ground because people were not accepting his handbills. And my friend, Super Jew, would made me and him follow after this guy and pick up every handbill that he threw on the ground and then throw it in the garbage. And he tried to talk to the guy, say, please don't throw these on the ground, and the guy didn't care. And I kind of looked at him and said, why are we doing that? We're supposed to be going this way and doing this, and we're doing this now. And he said, because I have to do this, because I am Super Jew. And he wasn't being funny, he wasn't being serious, he was silly, he was being just factual. It was a non-emotional statement. And he bought a copy of Mouse, and I bought a copy of Mouse. And it's a heavy story about Nazi Germany. It's about the story of Art Spiegelman's parents in Auschwitz. And he won the Pulitzer Prize. Noodles. And his parents survived. This is the back cover of Mouse. Rego Park, New York. On the occasion of the 25th anniversary of its first publication, here is the definitive edition of Mouse. This is the one I ordered. The first masterpiece in comic book history. Now that's interesting. They're calling it a comic book. You thought their head was their feet. Okay. The Pulitzer Prize-winning Mouse tells the story of Władysław Spiegelman, a Jewish survivor of Hitler's Europe, and his son, Art Spiegelman, a cartoonist coming to terms with his father's story. Władysław's harrowing narrative is woven into the author's account of his anguished relationship with his aging father who survived Auschwitz. And here's the controversy that's going on in America. And I call this, I think it is trolling. This is political trolling, because they're getting a lot of coverage. A school board in Tennessee voted unanimously this month to ban the book Mouse, a Pulitzer Prize-winning graphic novel about the Holocaust, from being taught in its classrooms because it contains material that board members said was inappropriate for students. Members of the board said the book, which portrays Jews as mice and Nazis as cats, in recounting the author's parents' experience during the Holocaust, contained inappropriate curse words and a depiction of a naked character. Now, as someone on the news said today, look, I used to be a principal in an elementary school, and I used to teach in an elementary school, and a high school, and a junior high, and all the kids know all the dirty words, and they've seen all the bodies, no matter what their parents think. This is not a surprise to any of them. There is some rough, objectionable language in this book, said Lee Parkinson, the director of schools for McKinn County in eastern Tennessee, according to minutes of the meeting. Art Spiegelman, the author of Mouse, said he was baffled by the decision, and it doesn't make any sense. It's all political theater, all trying to rile up the base, with these people who are trying to get you to do the right thing and think the right thing, behave appropriately. And this is what they're objecting to. This is a page from Mouse. Right away we went. The sanitarium was inside Czechoslovakia, one of the most expensive and beautiful in the world. I remember when we were almost arrived, we passed a small town. Boy, everybody, every Jew from the train got very excited and frightened. Look. It was the beginning of 1938. Before the war, hanging high in the center of town was a Nazi flag. Here was the first time I saw with my own eyes the swastika. Now, do you want kids learning about this in Tennessee? We previously talked about this white shaming that some of these politicians are talking about. They don't want white guilt put on their children, talking about uncomfortable things like the Holocaust or the black experience. And I say, if the kids didn't do it, how can they have guilt for something they didn't do? But maybe it's something they need to know about so it doesn't happen again. But they don't care because it's all about white supremacy. And here's a very, very interesting bit of artwork. In light of a Tennessee district banning mouse, I'm sharing the greatest 2 pages ever written and drawn about the importance of children's literature and protecting children's access to books, starring Art Spiegelman, who wrote Mouse, and Maurice Sendak, who wrote Where the Wild Things Are. This is from The New Yorker, September 27, 1997. Discord. I guess that's another command I need to write down. That's a good one to put down. Haven't set it up. I got to figure it out. So let's take a look at this. Art Spiegelman visits Maurice Sendak at his idyllic Connecticut estate, where the celebrated illustrator recently finished We Are All in the Dumps with Jack and Guy, a children's book about homeless kids living in garbage. And I didn't redo a single picture for Dumps and Gagumba from start to finish. I did a picture at night, just like when I was 12 years old. I envy that. I do maybe 20 sketches for every finish, all with the insecure dread that people will find out my dirty secret I can't draw. Yes, that was my life too. All Strum and Drang. My friends fled. He's not making a book. He's building a coffin. But that's all over. I'm 65, facing the big croak, and finally come to the pleasure principle. It has to do with young friends dying of AIDS. It has to do with studying Melville. I'm illustrating his most Meshuggah book now, Pierre. You're doing a book for grown-ups? Kids' books? Grown-up books? That's just marketing. Books are books, I suppose. But when parents give Mouse, my book about Auschwitz, to their little kids, I think it's child abuse. I want to protect my kids. Well, Naja, my 6-year-old daughter, was asked what I do for a living. She said, Daddy draws mice. Art, you can't protect kids. They know everything. I'll give you an example, my friend. My friend lost his wife recently, and at the funeral, his little girl said, "Why don't you marry Miss So-and-so?" He looked at her as if she were a witch. We know everything we're goggles. Googles? Okay. But she was just being a real kid, with desperate day-to-day needs that had to be met no matter what. People say, "Oh, Mr. Sendak, I wish I were in touch with my childhood self like you." As if it were all quaint and succulent, like Peter Pan. Childhood is cannibals and psychotics vomiting in your mouth. I say you are in touch, lady. You're mean to your kids. You treat your husband like shit. You lie, you're selfish. That is your childhood self. In reality, childhood is deep and rich. It's vital, mysterious, and profound. I remember my own childhood vividly. I knew terrible things, but I knew I mustn't let adults know I knew. It would scare them. And that is the story of Art Spiegelman and Marie Sendak. It's a lovely story. Kids know. "Oh, Dino, I'm not sure what you mean about we know everything we're Googles." I'm not sure exactly what that means. If you want to clarify, I'd love to hear it. And so we have generally come to the end of our time together today. It's been a wonderful stream full of interesting anecdotes and learning and sharing and back and forthing. It's how we learn. It's how we come to know things. I see. You know everything because of Google. I got you. I did a podcast about that. What it would have been like if I had Google growing up, where I didn't have to rely on other people for what I know. I can just go on the internet and look something up and know it. You live in a wonderful world, Dino, I tell you. The things you have now are things that we couldn't have dreamed about 40 years ago. It was a very good stream, a great stream. Dino, I thank you very much for being part of it. I thank Dora for being here. The lovely Ellie pops in and out to say hello. And there are kids born today, like our friend Dino, who have never known the world without the internet, who have never known the world without being able to find out whatever you want just by searching for it on the internet. Now that alone makes you smarter and gives you a big advantage in the world that older people do not have. We live in compressed little spaces growing up. And to go outside where you came from was a problem. And one of my favorite sayings to students who are scared of leaving home is, I tell them you don't have to be where you're from. You can always be something else. Or you can stay. I have friends that I've known who have lived in one town, gone to school, had kids, worked, all of their lives. They've never moved. They've stayed right where they are. And I have also friends in New York City who were born and raised in New York City who have never gone above 14th Street in Manhattan. Everything they need in life, 50 years old, they have been able to find from 14th Street down to Battery Park. Oh, Dina's afraid of American schools. I understand why, my friend. I don't blame you on that one. The schools have come the sanctuary for the parents. Dump them off in school. Let the teachers teach them what the parents should be teaching. It's a very vicious cycle. And I come from a whole family of teachers who've been teaching for 40 years. And it's never really changed. And if kids don't know something, It's always the teacher's fault. It's not the parents' fault. It's unfortunate. So I will see you again here Monday, 9 a.m. Eastern. When Jana Marie is doing her show on the weekends, I'm there in chat, usually under the Boles brand account, because she's on this account, the Boles TV account, because she's the star of the television show on the weekends. If you have any questions for me, comments, you can email me, david@boles.tv. Jana Marie is jana@boles.tv. On Facebook, I'm Boles. On Twitter, David Boles. Okay, Dino, see you on Monday. If you're around on the weekend, I'll talk to you in chat. During Jana's show. We'll see if she likes that. Oh, she'll like it. On Instagram, we're Boles Books. TikTok, Boles TV. And now on YouTube. All of our video on demand stuff is now on YouTube. This show will be there tomorrow. youtube.com/Boles Blues. Bye, Dino. End it with a jingle. I think you're right. I should always begin and end with the jingle, and one of these days I'll learn it well enough. Uh-oh, I lost the jingle. I'll look it up again. Where I can sing along with it. Now that will be fun. Go to Abe's Muffins. Find the product. Go with the celebration cake. And now, I say, see you Monday, my friends.
They got the world's best muffins. They're not just any kind of muffins. No milk, no nuts, no soy, no eggs. They got the world's best muffins. They're not just any kind of muffins. The very best vegan muffins are eggs.
Bye.
They got the world's best muffins. They're not just any kind of muffins. No milk, no nuts, no soy, no eggs. They got the world's best muffins. They're not just any kind of muffins. The very best vegan muffins are eggs. They got the world's best muffins. They're not just any kind of muffins. No milk, no nuts, no soy, no eggs. They got the world's best muffins. They're not just any kind of muffins. The very best vegan muffins are eggs. They got the world's best muffins. They're not just any kind of muffins. No milk, no nuts, no soy, no eggs. They got the world's best muffins. They're not just any kind of muffins. The very best vegan muffins are eggs. They got the world's best muffins. They're not just any kind of muffins. No milk, no nuts, no soy, no eggs. They got the world's best muffins. They're not just any kind of muffins. The very best vegan muffins are eggs. They got the world's best muffins. They're not just any kind of muffins. No milk, no nuts, no soy, no eggs. They got the world's best muffins. They're not just any kind of muffins. The very best vegan muffins are eggs. They got the world's best muffins. They're not just any kind of muffins. No milk, no nuts, no soy, no eggs. They got the world's best muffins. They're not just any kind of muffins. The muffins are A's. They got the world's best muffins. They're not just any kind of muffins. No milk, no nuts, no soy, no eggs. They got the world's best muffins. They're not just any kind of muffins. The very best vegan muffins are A's. They got the world's best muffins. They're not just any kind of muffins. No milk, no nuts, no soy, no eggs. They got the world's best muffins. They're not just any kind of muffins. The very best vegan muffins are A's. They got the world's best muffins. They're not just any kind of muffins. No milk, no nuts, no soy, no eggs. They got the world's best muffins. They're not just any kind of muffins. The very best vegan muffins are A's. They got the world's best muffins. They're not just any kind of muffins. No milk, no nuts, no soy, no eggs. They got the world's best muffins. They're not just any kind of muffins. The very best vegan muffins are A's. They got the world's best muffins. They're not just any kind of muffins. No milk, no nuts, no soy, no eggs. They got the world's best muffins. They're not just any kind of muffins. The very best vegan muffins are A's. They got the world's best muffins. They're not just any kind of muffins. No milk, no nuts, no soy, no eggs. They got the world's best muffins. They're not just any kind of muffins. The very best vegan muffins are A's. They got the world's best muffins. They're not just any kind of muffins. No milk, no nuts, no soy, no eggs. They got the world's best muffins. They're not just any kind of muffins. The very best vegan muffins are A's. They got the world's best muffins. They're not just any kind of muffins. No milk, no nuts, no soy, no eggs. They got the world's best muffins. They're not just any kind of muffins. The very best vegan muffins are A's. They got the world's best muffins. They're not just any kind of muffins. No milk, no nuts, no soy, no eggs. They got the world's best muffins. They're not just any kind of muffins. The very best vegan muffins are A's. They got the world's best muffins. They're not just any kind of muffins. No milk, no nuts, no soy, no eggs. They got the world's best muffins. They're not just any kind of muffins. The very best vegan muffins are A's. They got the world's best muffins. They're not just any kind of muffins. No milk, no nuts, no soy, no eggs. They got the world's best muffins. They're not just any kind of muffins. The very best vegan muffins are A's. They got the world's best muffins. They're not just any kind of muffins. No milk, no nuts, no soy, no eggs. They got the world's best muffins. vegan muffins are eggs. They got the world's best muffins. They're not just any kind of muffins. No milk, no nuts, no soy, no eggs. They got the world's best muffins. They're not just any kind of muffins. The very best vegan muffins are eggs.